Hey. You going over there?
All my notes that I've been writing for our 5 weeks, breaking it down, do this time, this. I lost them. They were on the home computer.
Ooh. And there wasn't nothing that you shared with me, like where I could pull it up even though you can't.
It was just me taking notes, writing the notes down, writing notes. I just went to pull it up. I might have to watch every video and recall as much as I can.
Gotcha. Yeah. What were you doing it on? What system?
Just Microsoft Word.
Microsoft Word.
I was just coming back, computer was on, hitting it. Guess I just wasn't saving.
Yeah. Next time, just do it on or do it in a way where you can share it with me. I think you can do it on Microsoft Word that way. I know you can on like Docs or something. That way, if something like that happens to either one of our computers, the other one will have it. You know what I mean? So we just know for the future. Man.
Okay. I just have to look through it. The ideas will come back. The structure is simple to me. Do this for this long, this for that long, but also put notes for the future on there.
Right.
That we've talked about. I've also written it down, a lot of it down paper and pad style first. So I put it here first, then put it up there. So I'll be able to recreate it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, and if you can recreate it, then I mean, at the end of the day,
I ain't gonna beat myself up too bad. I could recreate it, but fuck, I'm gonna beat myself up a little bit because fuck. Too much going on for this, man. It was the dummy. It was the dummy. I did the dummy. I did the dummy.
It could have been worse.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse. At least you lost something that we can both find.
Yeah. Right.
Instead of being something you lost and just you.
Right. Yeah. No, I could recreate it. I'm just like, God, I don't need nothing else on my plate.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, definitely understand that
part. All right. Work through these hurt feelings. And then my son's car is totaled. The engine was just no good. Copped him a car. Well, was going to get him a car, and then his mama was like, I found it. And she be on some garbage shit. So she was like, I got him a car. Like her friend was just giving it away. It's like, all right. I put more money in the car than she did. And she got the car. So I was like, all right, I ain't tripping on you. Engine. No combustion in the engine no more. That's a dead engine. 5-8 grand. The car ain't worth 5-800. I'm glad we ain't put new tires on that bitch. We was about to fix the windshield, all kind of stuff. So anyway, so my son is the most deserving kid on the planet from a vehicle. You know, he deserves a car. Right. So now I gotta figure out how to buy him a car. This has all been since we talked last. Ain't nothing like some things to drive you, man.
I'll tell you, if nothing else, it's that. Something to drive you.
It'll drive you. Today is gonna make me take a nap, but tomorrow, driven, nigga.
Wasn't it Deion Cole that said that? Somebody just said that. He said, "Well, white folks, y'all need to learn the lesson from us." He said, y'all have problems, y'all kill yourself." He said, "Black people take a nap."
Man,
sleep this thing off.
Yo, you take a nap, get back in this fight.
That is funny.
That shit there, boy. All right, black man. So
I'll pull up the slideshow there in a second. I'm sending out one last reminder email.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit's so my fault. It was careless. It was careless. All this, I got all kind of other bullshit on here. That hey, it was great. Safe property.
Of course, of course, that happened that way,
bruh. That's two.
Seemed like I did, right? I did a thing. I did a homework thingamajig, didn't it? Yeah, I put something out there for homework. That's it. I mean, an instructional video. Please take a look at these instructional videos. Please take a look at the instructional video below and the worksheet attached. Okay, there we go. And the worksheet attachment. Yeah, I sent out another email. Well, I know you know because you get it too, but I sent out another email with the survey. Nobody did the survey. And
okay.
And it's just, I think it's just, just one of those things.
Yeah. I ain't tripping.
Yeah, we're gonna have to tell them, because when we mentioned it today, hey, the survey went out. Oh, I see it. Where? How you send it? Where'd you send it from? No, that's what's going on there.
Yep. Nature of the beast, man. Nature of the beast.
Yeah. Let's see. Instructional video. Yeah, we still got the whole, by any chance, did you look at, no, you couldn't because I ain't sent it to you. You look at it, never mind. How about that? Did you look at the video again? To see that the whole other part of the training, I know you know this because you mentioned it, the whole other part of the training that you never even got to, which I have up here now, embracing the moment, the power of being present. Like we didn't touch that at all.
Right. That was the whole other half. That was the mindfulness stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even cover none of that. So we got plenty of stuff to cover. Plus now as far as this opening up today and all of that stuff, is that something that was on that you don't know where it's at, or is that something that you have somewhere else?
Oh no, I got today square.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, today is square because it's that homework. Told them to go and address it when they didn't do it properly. That's a big deal. it's one thing to recognize when you've been, you know, wrong's been done to you, but when you acknowledge that you've done wrong, woo-wee.
Checklist. What did I call that?
You wanna well shit. You already made me a call?
Oh, hold on. Let me see. I don't remember making you one. Co-host. Yes.
Cool. Look like
Stephanie's in there.
Yeah, look like that's the only one though.
Yeah. And what's his name? He done called me twice and I didn't answer because I told him I wasn't gonna answer him when we do that no more. Jim. Jim always called me 5 minutes before we get started. I'm like, Jim, you can't call me before we get started. I'm getting started.
He one of them old dudes, man. He just like being social. He ain't really trying to accomplish nothing, hit no goals. He's just trying to stay sharp and engaged.
I really believe that that's the case. I believe that's the case, brother. I think I'm gonna go ahead and like KRAs. Yeah, that's the attachment I want right there. So that there. Go ahead and drop this YouTube link in there.
Can you shoot me today's document that you're about to use? Can you send it to me in chat, just me directly? The document we're about to use tonight?
I can't send. Oh no. Yeah. I can send it in chat. Yeah. I can upload it in there.
Yeah, if you just, and you ain't gonna send it to everybody else, but send to me. That way I can have it off to the side.
Right. I sent so much stuff, man. I be forgetting that I would imagine I sent it to him already. I would imagine I sent it to him last week because it's.
I'm sure you did.
Huh?
I'm sure you did.
But I don't even remember what I did. But actually, I have to look at my email and see. So that instructional was that you did, was it 2 minutes an instructional video? How long was that?
That was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
No, I did another one. I did the instructional video for the one for just last Tuesday. The stuff that you said, I mean, for Saturday, when you was like,
you
hey.
edited it out and then resent it?
Yeah, I always clip out just your instructions so people, and just send that so they can see that little short video.
Do we want to go ahead and get in here with Stephanie?
Yeah, we can go ahead and go in there with her. Yeah. And she just sent the feedback too, the feedback list.
Well, good. Glad we made a way.
Am I coming on late? Hey, Mr. Dunbar.
No, you're not coming on late. 8 o'clock. Oh. You good.
Because it's like.
I know you're in another time zone.
Yeah, I was like, am I always late?
No, not tonight.
Nope, you good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm looking for something.
I see you just turned in the survey.
I did it already.
Yeah, I know. I just saw it. I just saw the little ding from it.
Yeah, I did it already. But this is what I wanted. I was looking.
Give us 1 second.
Oh, let me get that to you too. So Stephanie. Stephanie.
What did I do?
That's what I was about to ask you. I was about to ask you, did you do your did you work on your assignment?
Yeah, man. You know,
Woo! Sound like it was a rough one, huh, Stephanie?
you know what? That's that's my problem right there.
What's that?
I need another course, a double time, triple time course.
Oh, is that your way of saying you didn't do it?
Man, what is I looking for? That's my problem right there.
What's that?
Late with not doing what I'm supposed to do. And
So
I think
you got
that's
a problem with procrastinating.
Procrastinated, yeah. I was like, where's me? I'm looking for me. I'm in the wrong
Oh,
one.
you know what I'm thinking about too while I'm sitting here looking at this stuff? This doggone Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
People might be
It may just be happening on Saturday, huh?
yeah, people might be Valentine's Day.
That's a good point. I ain't think about it.
I didn't either because like we set ourselves up to do something on the weekend. We didn't do we knew not to do we didn't set up to do nothing tonight because we already knew, you know, by the time she get home from work and I was like, she's gonna be so tired. And then I knew I had this on Tuesday night. So we but I wasn't thinking about the fact that other people obviously could be doing something on a Tuesday night. I know what people were celebrating over the weekend or what. I know the Super Bowl was this weekend as well, so I don't know.
Super Bowl. Hey, it's been an insane few days between Super Bowl and everything else. You know, I did my Valentine's Day yesterday with the Queen, but yeah, that's a good point.
Well, I was on a mastermind call and everybody was in it.
What, just now?
Yeah.
Okay, so then people were available then.
They didn't even want to get off.
Well, hell, that's probably where it's at.
That's the CDL. I don't know if anybody from there
that was CDL.
If they're coming on, if they would is Jackie on Tuesdays?
I thought the CDL mastermind was Thursday night.
No, we have a special one on Tuesday nights.
Huh?
She has a special one on Tuesday night. People who she work with.
Oh, just people that okay, I got you.
Okay.
Not the Thursday one that she normally does.
The Tuesday one, yeah.
Let me see something.
Oh,
So many times with my controls over there. What's going on there? Hey, Coach Branch, check that document in the chat and see if it goes up to embracing the moment or not.
No,
It doesn't?
it does not.
Doesn't go. Okay. What's the last page you see on there?
KRAs, the scoring of the KRAs, the assessment.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and this one doesn't even have mine listed.
Okay. So that's the old one then. I pulled it from but that must be when I saved it before I added it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So let me do
I get it.
Let me do this.
Miss Stephanie, thank you for your patience. Really appreciate you.
Oh, I'm good. I'm doing my
What you say?
I'm updating my deep dive. I tried to upload a picture. No, I didn't see this. I'm serious. I didn't see this. I'm trying to upload oh, you know what? I see it. I'm trying to upload a picture. So
You in the community?
I have my picture there. I want to upload my granddaughter. What we learned last week about what make you smile. So and then we're saying that you could upload pictures. So you want to know about my crazy time? It's my crazy time. Really? Oh my God. You sending me back to child days. Oh, Jesus. Oh. You used to like to fight. Pelt stone on people's house. Stone people's house. Party. Did my daughter call her? She said she gotta call you.
No, she hasn't.
She's so busy. She's have to call her. She said, I gotta call her, man.
Were you able to pull up the other one, brother?
Yeah, I'm putting it in. I'm putting it in there now.
Okay, we got Miss Arancia jumping in, letting her in.
Check the chat.
Yep. Hello, Miss Arancia.
Good evening, Coach Branch. Good evening, Coach Dunbar. How are you both?
Amazing. How are you?
Yeah.
How are you both?
We are doing excellent. How about yourself?
I am. I'm gonna leave it like that.
Uh-oh.
I'm
You
gonna leave it
are?
like that.
You are? You gonna leave it like that?
Yes, I am. Cause see, whatever I say after that, it attaches itself to the I am. So I'm gonna just say that I am.
There you go. Respect. Respect.
Yeah, I don't want to say I am sad, I'm angry, I'm this, I am. So nice to see you, coaches. Hello, everyone else.
As well. Good brother, this one does have the life in it, the life relationships, and it says chapter 7, embracing the moment, power being present. It doesn't have the mindfulness after it, but it does have that.
Ooh.
Good morning, Catherine.
That may have been something I screwed up on my end.
All good. We've been having some technical Very interesting, a very interesting technical day.
So have I.
I think it's something in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We. Miss Catherine, say that again.
So have I.
So have you?
So
Yeah.
What?
That's why I said me as well.
what in the
You're
world?
taking these amazing notes on every week of training and structured and organized, so it's ready. I mean, of the past weeks, gone. Came back in town, gone.
Oh,
So I got to recreate it all. That's a great way for God to make sure I know it.
For sure, for sure.
is there something that we can send back to you so that you don't have to recreate everything?
Oh, I appreciate it. Any documents that he sent, we do have that.
Okay.
In an email, and I'm just gonna have to go through and watch the videos.
Okay.
Yeah, go through and watch the videos. So it'll be all good.
So
It'll be all
we're
good.
gonna go ahead and get rolling.
Yeah, I would like
and
to do that.
Before we get into the actual material, I'm just gonna mention something real quickly. Just the on the feedback so that you guys know to check your emails for that. I sent an email out to get feedback on what we've been doing here the last few weeks. Remember, just as a reminder, it is anonymous. So when you fill it out, we won't know who said what they said. All we're gonna get back is the responses, and they categorize them for on the Excel sheet for us, and that's pretty much it. So be completely honest and transparent on that. Don't spare our feelings because we're not gonna know who said it anyway. So,
I have a quick question.
yeah.
But you have our emails that it's attached to.
Yeah, but the email, it doesn't, when you put your email on there, it doesn't show us that. So what happens is when y'all fill out the survey,
It's a third party doing
yeah, it comes back as an Excel spreadsheet and every response possible is on there and it'll let us know how many of each response we got. Yeah, so it won't tell you. And it's funny that you said that because I thought that. When it was being set up, I was like, but y'all asking for their email, so we know,
Right.
we know who that is. And they was like, no. That's for us to attach it to. That's not for you. You're not gonna see that.
Right.
So
Only me. I'm sorry, coaches.
no, I'm saying when it was being set up, I was thinking the same thing you said. I was like, well, this is anonymous. Why do you need the email? That's what I asked. But that was the reason they was like, no, you're not gonna see that. Are you gonna get back as an Excel spreadsheet with full of answers? But it won't identify who said the answers.
Okay.
Absolutely. So
When do you need the feedback back? When do you need the feedback by? I guess I'm trying to say.
As soon as you can, because we're gonna do an exit one, and that's gonna be in a few weeks. That's gonna be in a few weeks. So I would like to have a gap in between the two.
Okay.
Just a little bit of a gap. So like you all, we're trying to learn and grow and develop and all of those wonderful things. But you want to know something that was not lost when my computer wanted to act up? That's still here. It survived.
oh, boy. Look at that.
Oh boy, that's
Give
good.
up. I give up. So speaking of, I asked you all to identify a positive trigger for you. Were you able to identify one?
For me, I would say yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. I'm still not having a visual of something.
Okay. Okay, so what's the yes part? Because that just sounds like the no part. Or is it just no, but you didn't want to sound negative?
Don't worry, it's just us.
You good?
It was just like and this was just something new, and I don't know if it's such a positive for me or not. And that's why I don't have a visual of it per se. I wrote down 3 letters, right?
Okay.
And the letters say, I can go get that. You want me to go get my 3 letters?
If you want to.
Okay,
you
good.
go.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, you want to go.
Yeah, they're gonna help you identify. Absolutely.
And it may be a song. It could be whatever brings joy to you in almost any circumstance. It just triggers a happy response.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, I wrote
Catherine,
down
you
3
got
letters
yours? Thinking about it, Mike, you next.
because they keep coming up for me. And it's not like they make me laugh like Quiggly Piggly or whoever it is, your
Yeah.
your little icon, but I still think that they're positive motivators or reinforcements. But anyway, the letters were DLB.
Okay.
It's where don't look back, right? Don't look back. And then I wrote destiny lies before you. So then I put a picture of a lion, a tiger, and a bear, right?
Okay.
Don't look back.
There you
So,
go.
and then the other DLB is don't look back. There's lions, tigers, and bears. Okay. And then destiny lies before you, DLB,
Okay.
yet again. So it hasn't been, it hasn't been, I guess, engraved on my brain and my heart, even though it continues to come up. And when I see it, it's like, you can't be looking back. Okay. And so I'm not sure if that is my.
It's a start, but it's a start. It's a start in trying to discover it and figure it out. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And all it has to do is be beneficial to you. Once again, that positive trigger. For some people, it's a song, right? It could be a song.
Yeah.
It could be whatever. It could be literally anything.
Actually, I have a couple songs as well, but in terms of a visual, this is what I.
For sure.
What I started with.
For sure. Miss Catherine, what about you? You want to unmute? There you go.
Brian, I have not been on this training in 2 weeks.
Oh, no? Okay. All right. Then you don't even know what I'm talking about. Never mind. It wasn't even that good. You ain't missing nothing last week.
No, I couldn't get on last week, and then the week before that, I don't know. And I haven't looked at the replay because I haven't received them.
Yeah, I sent it out, Catherine. I sent it for you. I'm sending it to 2 of your emails. I'm sending it to the 65 and the 70.
It might be in spam. I keep forgetting to look at spam. I don't know why you go to spam.
I'm willing to put some money on that. That's where it's at, spam, because it's got a video instructional video attached and all that. And they always look at that like promotional kind of stuff. It's probably in your spam. Yeah. Just pull up reminder or assignment, pull that up in your subject. It'll put, because that's what the subject is.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I'll do my assignment, I promise.
No problem. So let's go ahead and do this. I want to dive into those other KRAs that we didn't get a chance to really touch. We really focused on the ones that was for our relationships with others. So Miss Stephanie, Miss Arancia, I'm gonna kick it back and forth to you all, just as far as for a recap on the KRAs for the relationships with others, right? Hopefully you felt like you remember some stuff from that last course, that last class that we had. And so when we look at the KRAs for our relationship with others, and he's gonna scroll us down to them. Thank you, Coach Dunbar.
Why it's not, it should be, you know what? Let me do something real quick. I want to do it so that it's, I want it to be on a different screen.
Okay.
Yeah, where I can kind of blow it.
That's cool. While you're putting that together, those KRAs for others, for our relationships, right? The key result areas. These are the key areas that allow us to do our best, to be our best. And we're talking about in life, right? So these are L KRAs, life KRAs, right? Key result areas. And I just focused on 2 types of relationships, interpersonal relationships and intrapersonal relationships, right? That's formally what they recognize as. So when we talk about interpersonal relationships, the relationships with others. Intrapersonal is the relationship with ourselves, right? That relationship we have with ourselves. Now, the different areas of the interpersonal relationship KRAs are communication, self-awareness, empathy, consideration, authenticity and truth, self-regulation, and boundaries. Miss Stephanie, when I say communication is a key result area and very important for relationships with others, why would you say that communication is important in that way?
I think it's important because you want to communicate better with a person. You want to understand the person. You want to understand the person need. So you have this communication with them. And I was so glad that you bring up this communication, and I don't want to take up your time. I'm trying to have like a good communication, a good relationship with one of my granddaughter. We have it, but it kind of separating. So what I do in the morning time, I started texting her.
Okay.
I started texting her. I will send positive things for her. I will let her know, well, today is going to be a great day. Be positive. When you're walking on your job, keep your head up, keep your shoulder, straighten up your shoulder. This is the thing you're supposed to do. And she keep answering back to me. But my problem is, what I want to start to do is like, okay, I want to have a conversation with you. I want to communicate with you. And I think maybe I know how to do it, or I just don't know how to start it. That's why I start with the texting.
Well, that sounds like a deeper conversation.
Right.
Yeah, than we have time for now.
Yeah, I know.
2, if you figure out how to spark and continue engaging communication with a millennial or younger, I need you to tell me how to do it, because I can't get them to talk to me either.
Right.
They don't talk. They text everything.
Right. Yeah.
They're awkward. It's weird. I don't know. So communication is important. And what you are doing, this is what I do as well, which is text them. That communication is letting them know, right? So you're still communicating. But when we think about it as far as KRAs, communication being a key result area for a relationship with other folks, it's really wrapping our mind around the fact that, you know what, we need to be able to keep that conversation going, to build communication, to work on it. Wherever it starts, it needs to be a constantly evolving, dynamic, growing, living activity and engagement between us and the people that we love and care about, or else you got 2 people that just can't talk. And that's no good. What you're participating in is the discovery portion of communication, trying to find that even plane where you can get your messages out and they can get their messages out and both of you can be heard. So you're in that process, but it is extremely important, right?
Right.
Won't you tell me a little bit, what about self-awareness? Why is self-awareness considered a key result area for relationships with others? Miss Johnson, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
It was like I heard absolutely nothing. I'm sitting here going,
Oh no, okay. I'm
who
sorry.
you talking to?
No, I was asking, from our conversation last week, if you remember, why self-awareness was considered a key result area for our relationships with others.
Well, if you're self-aware of who you're talking to, what you're talking about, and yourself in that position in terms of why you're having the conversation, the communication, the self-awareness is real key, because you need to know and be aware so that you can communicate effectively, so you can self-regulate yourself if there's any heated hot buttons that are going on, or any exchanges or lulls.
Right.
You know,
No, it's real.
it's the discipline, the being able to effectively present yourself so that others understand you and you're not being misunderstood. And then if you are being misunderstood, you can be aware of perhaps how you're communicating it, take a step back, and approach it from a different angle.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's very key to be self-aware. I think so many times we're not aware whether we're feeling different emotions and we're sad or we're angry or we're heated. And if we get above a certain level, and then it's like, oh my goodness, watch out, the head starts swiveling, the whole, your body language, your posture, your whole everything is like, but you don't understand what I'm trying to tell you, and you're heated and all of that. And so if you're self-aware, you're gonna maintain your composure and be calm so that you can listen and respond as opposed to reacting. So I think
that's the self-regulation portion of it. Like that's that other half, that act, but you're 100% right, because they go hand in hand. And that self-awareness is actually just honestly knowing how you're feeling, knowing what's going on, right? And knowing how that affects other folks. Very good.
And something that the young lady just said just now about her granddaughter, it just made me kind of think, the millennials aren't aware that they're just texting and they're not hearing anybody's voice, or they're not talking and all of that. And so they're not so aware. And so it seems that we got to find some kind of common ground with them where they want to talk, something of interest to them, that really gets them hyped up, whatever it is, music, an activity, a sport, something that their artwork, something that they like, that can be an open door creator for us to be able to communicate. Because I think you said it in your video, that we only get to keep what we understand. And if we don't understand what's going on, everything's flying above their heads, everything's flying above our heads. And so we're not understanding one another and communicating effectively. And so if there's some kind of common ground, like I said, whether it's computers or technology, dance, football, soccer, whatever it is that they're into,
right,
besides all the foul music and all that, but
well, to dive in a little bit here, and we won't get too deep into because that's a whole nother conversation as far as generational communication. Woo-wee, that's another monster. Because my uncles and aunties, as far as they was concerned, all I did was listen to foul and dirty music, and I ain't never talked. And when I did talk, so it's all kind of interesting elements there. As far as the technology moving us away from, technology is moving faster than it did in any other era. And even though our young people who have been born into it And I do believe there is some stuff, and it's not even to believe, there's you know, studies that show a stunting in some areas, especially as far as communication is concerned. But it's a lot of people who ain't no millennials. Because millennials are older 30s now, right?
Right.
40 is a
40,
millennial.
yeah.
40 years old is a millennial now. So you're talking about people in their 40s and in their 50s and in their 60s who have adopted all these things that we're talking about just for that millennials do. They couldn't wait to get naked on Instagram. Couldn't wait with a 57-year-old self and their great grandchildren. You know what I mean? They couldn't wait to do half of this stuff, right? To only text, to be, how many people do you know can't get off Facebook? They're not kids, because the kids ain't on Facebook. Everybody that's living on Facebook is grown as heck.
It's grown,
right?
correct.
So you definitely got that. So it's a lot of aspects to that, you know what I mean, as far as that's concerned, for sure. We hear empathy, the act of feeling, being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, consideration, thinking about them when you do act or when a decision is made. This is without them having to tell you. You're considering them. You're thinking about them without them prompting you to think about them. Being authentic and truthful, moving in your truth, right? Moving properly in that way, that way what you're presenting, even if it's not popular, is real. Self-regulation, as Ms. Arancia already touched on, self-regulation, the act of not just knowing where I'm at emotionally, but being able to make conscious decisions about how I want to express that, when I want to express it, where I want to express it, right? All of those dynamics about sharing, that, not allowing myself to be controlled by the emotions that I am experiencing. That's self-regulation. And lastly, the creation and development of boundaries. Boundaries, super important as far as keeping a healthy relationship going, because if we don't have our boundaries in check, we eventually hold other people responsible for the boundaries we didn't put in place.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even put them boundaries in place. And we end up holding other people responsible for that. You know what I mean? We don't want to do that. Not at all. So these are the problems. These are some of the challenges that we run into. But then we dove into, and we didn't get a chance to really dive into it, but the relationship with ourselves. What are those key areas for a relationship with ourselves, right? Well, number one is that self-awareness, right? Knowing how I'm feeling. Brother Dunbar, can we unshare the screen here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So self-awareness in this area, when we're talking about KRAs for relationships, and for the relationship with ourselves, number one is self-awareness, right? And that self-awareness is me knowing how I'm feeling about me. Am I really okay with what's going on here? Am I really all right with this? I'm frustrated right now. Who am I truly frustrated with? Am I frustrated with myself? Right? I'm telling myself that this relationship, I don't like what's going on, but you know what? I could live with it. Are you being as self-aware as you could be? So that's super important, that we check the self-awareness that we have when we're communicating and engaging with us. We have to know how we truly feel, what's really going on. Hope. Your relationship with yourself, if you have no hope, you have nothing, you have no reason. Hope provides reason. If there's no hope, then what's the reason of getting on something like this? What's the point of doing the assignments that, you may not do anyway, right? But what's the point of any effort, of any work, of any strain, of any sweat, of any determination if you got no hope? Hope can make a small person bigger than the planet. And the lack of hope The lack of hope can destroy nations. Hope is power beyond power. So when we're talking about the relationship with ourselves, we have to constantly remind ourselves to have hope and why, and to justify that. Or else we will have a tumultuous relationship with ourselves. Because the lack of hope gives us no reason to be healthy tomorrow. No reason to be on point. It gives us a reason for the thing. A reason to be on point. You can find yourself falling into extremely destructive behavior without any hope. Have you all ever seen someone who lost hope?
Mhm.
It is so deflating. It is one of the saddest things you could see is somebody who had hope who lost it.
Mhm.
And for a lot of folks who suffer through, like myself, depression and different things like that, it's the sudden absence of hope. You know what I mean? If I had to define myself, like what does it feel? Depression is the absence of the sudden absence. So it's a shock absence of hope. Like, where did it go? And it's like a baby who is lost. Like, where's mom? Matter of fact, I don't know anybody. What the heck is going on in just that freak out, right? So hope is super important. Honesty, being honest with ourselves. Being honest with ourselves. Is that truly what I want, or is that what people say I should want? Is that truly where my joy is? Or do I feel like as a man, that's where my joy should be? That it's unpopular to think this or think that way. Do I honestly have my anger in check? Or am I just doing my toxic positivity professional development thing and convinced myself that my anger and my emotions are in check, even though they're not? But I don't want to even acknowledge anything bad about myself, anything challenging about myself. That honesty, being honest about what you can handle, is everything. Being honest with yourself about where you are, your pros and your cons, the things you do amazingly well. Some of us struggle to say we do anything amazing. To say I'm an expert in this. If you got your notepad in front of you, write down something you're an expert in. That a average person with reasonable knowledge on this topic, you know way more than that. You're an expert in something you're phenomenal at, something you're great at, like unequivocally, you are incredible at this. It took me a long time to be able to say, no, I'm dope at this. I'm dope. I ain't dope at everything, but this, I do this. You hard pressed to find somebody better at this than I am. That's honest. There's some things we're really good at, and I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but you'll talk down about yourself. I heard it ain't bragging if it's true. I heard it ain't bragging if it's true. We got to be okay. I don't think I don't want nobody to think I'm better than nobody else. You are. You are better than some people. If we're just talking categorically, yes. I'm better at training than some people are, but I should be. I worked harder on it. I'm not saying they can't be as great. I worked as hard. They put the time in, they put the effort in, they put the thought in. Come on. However, I'm not going to discount all my effort just so you don't feel like I think I'm better than you. In this area, I am better than you. Yeah, I am. But guess what? In your area, I'm not. You got an area I'm not nearly as good at, and you're better than me in that area. It is okay to be honest and say that you're just really, really awesome at something, but it's also okay to say what you're bad at. It's really okay to say that you're bad at something. It ain't negative talk. It ain't, if you ain't good, you ain't good. If you ain't good, you ain't good. And that's okay. If you need to work on it, you need to work on it. If you, how many of you got something in your life you're not good at and you don't even want to work on it?
You say that what now you got good at?
You got something you're not great at and you don't even want to work on it.
Oh.
You're like, you know what? That's just not my wheelhouse.
Well, I'm working on it. You all know that one.
I ain't working on everything I'm not good at, man.
No, but you all know my major
I'm not the
one.
best dancer. I dance well enough. I dance good enough for people not to stare at me. Because if you go to a party and you don't dance at all, they stare because of that.
That's right.
So I like to dance a little bit. But man, that's not my sweet spot. And guess how hard I'm gonna work on dancing better? I'm not. I got other things to do. I don't even care that much. Guess what else I'm not great at? Knowing information about sports. The Super Bowl, I don't care. The Super Bowl happened in Phoenix and I left. I just got back this morning. I didn't even want to be on the city. Right? Am I great at? No. I'm not necessarily going to work on it either. You know what I mean? These are different quality, and it's okay. I don't want to be phenomenal at everything. That's what I need other people around me for. My lady, she's amazing. Sports knowledge, all of that. She could just riddle off facts and numbers and stats. I know enough to keep our relationship happy, but other than that, I'm good. So being honest, be able to be honest, right? Vision. Vision goes hand in hand with hope. But vision is seeing it, knowing where I want to go, knowing what I want to happen. Hope is the belief that it can. Does that make sense? Vision is knowing, is the visualization. The visualization is so powerful. There are so many studies that speak about the power of visualization. Professional athletes and military all over the world, you actually perform better when you see yourself go through the steps all the way to the end first, then you do it. Because now you're just mimicking what you already saw. You're doing what you've already, your unconscious is like, I already did this. I'm doing what I've already done. Mm-hmm. Visualization is so powerful. So being able to have a vision for yourself, for your life and your loved ones, keeping a great relationship with yourself, that is huge. That is huge. Because now it gives your hope something to feed into, right? Have you ever met somebody that was hopeful and you was like, for what? Things gonna get better. Man, excellent. Like, what does that look like? No, better. It's like, that falls a little hollow. But the vision helps shores that up. The vision shores that up. Belief in self. Hope is broad. Hope is broad. But do you believe in you? Or are you still believing what they said about you when you were young? Do you believe in you? Do you believe that you're capable? Do you believe that you could grow? Or do you have a fixed mindset? And whatever I know now, that's just what I know. Mm-hmm. You know, that's beyond me. I should have started that years ago. It's too late for that. If we ain't talking about joining the NBA, it ain't too late. Mm-hmm. It may be too late for the NBA. You may not get picked up. Sorry to break that to you. I don't know a lot about sports, but I know that part. But other than that, start it now. Do it now. Do it now. Right? They said wherever we are, it's a result of decisions we made in the last 5 years. So decisions we make now could change the next 5 years, right? But do you believe that you can do it? Or have you been beat down for so long? And the sad thing is, the older we get, a couple things happen. Sure, for many, we stop caring what other people think about us. We kind of come into our own and things like that. But the challenge, the other thing that happens is we also absorb the can'ts. We've absorbed the boxes that we've been put in for so long. Trying something brand new is not easy the older that we get.
Mhm.
That's not me. That's not my character. You know, there's a quote on amazing philosopher Fonte's album, and it says, "You are only as old as your ability to process new information."
Mhm.
You are only as old as your ability to process new information. So when I find myself saying, well, that don't make sense, that don't look right, you know what? I'm just sticking to it this way. You're only as old as your ability to process new information. Okay, have an open mind. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Have an open mind. Believe in yourself. I must believe in myself that I can learn how to maneuver in this social media world, or I can learn what and not be freaked out by this whole AI conversation, and I can grow and I can become a better speaker. I can become more organized. I don't care if people say that's who I've been all my whole life. I can do better and I'm gonna grow. I believe in me. One of the most offensive things you could tell me is who I am. Who I am, and because of who I am, this is what I would do. I have had some aggressive conversations pushing back on that entire idea that someone else can tell me who I am. You can say a lot of things. Don't tell me what I'm gonna do. You don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know me because I'm still discovering me. I'm still figuring me out. And you may not believe in my growth, but I do. And if you don't believe in my growth, I suggest you keep it to yourself. Because that's a good way to find yourself on the other end, on the other side of the ledger, and no longer be allowed in my life. So be careful before you tell me what my future look like because of something you saw in my past. I don't take that. I don't suggest you all take it either. No one gets to define you. No one. When I put my kids to bed, I've always, and I think they're tired of it. Oh, it makes me so sad. But ever since they were young, I put them there. I say, who's better than you? They say, nobody. I say, what can I do for you? They say, anything. I say, what's the only way you could lose? They say, if I believe what they say about me. That is the only way you can lose. If you believe not what you say about you, but what others say about you. No one gets to define you but you. No one can beat you. They have to convince you to beat yourself first. And then they just stand there and win. They win by default. They didn't beat you, you lost. All right. Discipline is the next one. Discipline is the next one. Truly love yourself, to have a good relationship with you, discipline is mandatory. And the reason discipline is mandatory is because for some reason, God made sugar sweet. What? I know that was deep. Y'all weren't ready for that. God made sugar sweet. Why would sugar be sweet? Why would sugar taste so good when it's not good for you? That's discipline. Can you put the boundaries on your own behavior to not do what feels good now so that you can feel good later? Delayed gratification is the hallmark of discipline. That's what it is. To not be controlled by anything in this world but your own mind. To be able to make your own choices and decisions. Discipline. Discipline. I was speaking with someone the other day, and they were upset and they were lost over something. And they didn't even think it was going to go through. It was very disappointing. Now I remember where I was in Chicago. A young man, friend of my new son, who he played football overseas. And then some weird stuff went on with his visa and he's back. He's extremely disappointed, hoping he gets a call back and gets to go back to Europe to play football. He said, I don't know what's going on, but I get up every morning and I do the workouts and I run that. I want to be ready. If I do get the call, I may not get the call, but I want to be ready. I'm gonna do this. And man, I saw the pain in his eye. He was really, really disappointed and hurt over how these things went down.
Mm-hmm.
But his discipline, regardless where he was emotionally, his discipline put him in action. It put him in constant action. And it's that discipline reminds us that we love ourselves. Discipline is an act of love. When you want to have that piece of candy and you don't. When you don't feel like working out, but you do. But you do. Discipline, when you want to do things that may not be in your best interest or it may not be the right time. And you control that. Fasting is all about discipline. The 10 Commandments is all about discipline and order. All spiritual texts, all maturity, all of these things is about discipline. Discipline is a love letter to ourselves. And that takes us into our last one, which is self-care. And self-care is the act of checking in on you to make sure you're okay. Pulling yourself out of the world, am I all right? What do I need to be all right? Measuring my bandwidth, right? Am I overwhelmed? Am I approaching overwhelmed? I'm having a little mental dilemma. I'm having a little dilemma right now because I was invited to perform, but it was just going to be me sharing a minute or two about a historical time in which a song that's about to be played by the band, in which that song came about. So they're going to do like 8 songs. I'm going to go up. It's Black History Month. Hey, during this time, it was 1962. And in 1962, this is what was going on. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. I gave him a price for that. Good, I could do that. That doesn't take a lot of bandwidth. He just responded to me to tell me, you know what? We decided to scrap that idea, but we will have 20 minutes. If you could do a poetry set instead, if you'll be open to that, then that'll be cool. Now, we're talking about a little bit more time, but it's not really the time. It's a very different animal now. You're talking about not even starting to 9:50 at night, 10 o'clock at night. My lady, she'll be here, but she'll be here only for about a week. Is that how I want to do that? Now I'm doing a whole set. I got to carry a whole room performing instead of just telling you a quick story and getting off the stage. Oh, that's different bandwidth. That's different levels. I got to make a decision. I'm going to text him back tonight and make a decision. I think I'm okay with it, right? Because then I got to charge him more and I'm just not even in that mind space. I got too much going on. I'm going to go to another open mic next week just for the community. They asked me if I would come and feature and perform. Sure, I could do that. Yeah, I slide through, do a couple poems, no problem, right? It's for the love, it's for the community. I got a message today. Could you go fill out this form and send us a video? No, I can't. No, I'm not filling out a form. You asked me. I'm not sending a video. You asked me. Now, if that's what you need from me, I respect that. And I'm going to go ahead and respectfully back away because I can't agree to all of that. I got a lot going on right there. But if you just swing by, do a poem or two, that's different. Well, because I was able to speak up for myself, thinking about my own self-care, oh, no, no, no. And I communicated, right? Relationships with others. Can you put that slide back up for me, brother? The way they all mix in with each other is pretty powerful. So in acting my self-care, right, in the right column at the bottom, in order to enact that, I had to be self-aware. How I was feeling, what was going on. I had to be honest in that self-awareness. And then I had to jump over. Now that I have that information, I had to jump over to my relationships with others and communicate effectively, do it with truth and authenticity, and do it with the self-awareness, but also with some empathy. Hey, look, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm sorry, but that's just a little too much, as opposed to, you want too much. I can't do that. I ain't gotta say it like that. And I did it. And as a result, we was able to come to a better understanding. Now I'm back comfortable again. And I will go and share a couple poems next Friday. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
These key result areas are so powerful. And my fear for this class is that we're going to drop so many jewels that get missed. I'm almost afraid. And I wonder, and we could take this off, Brother Dunbar.
Yeah.
And it's going to be curious. This is definitely something I'm going to pay attention to, because I'm in a constant state of self-reflection. And I try to be on top of my self-awareness and regulation. And my self-awareness includes knowing that I can be sensitive sometimes. You know what I mean? I have to. Some people never take, Dunbar don't take nothing personal.
Yeah, I know.
That man don't take nothing personal. You'll think you did something, he'll be like, oh, I didn't even realize you did it. I forgot you did it. He's gone. He's gone, right? He don't take nothing personal. I can't. It's different from me. I got to remind myself it ain't personal. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I got to remind myself of those things. And I have to wonder, and I'm going to pay attention to, when we do this course again, and the cost is $1,000 for the course, $750 is what I'm thinking. Of course, it's $750 for the course, singularly. I wonder how many participants to miss at that level, or how much additional effort, how much the community may get used, or how different assignments, you know what I mean, may go. I learned a long time ago that when I did shows for free, they treated me cheap. And I was just trying to be nice. I knew they didn't have a budget. Yeah, I'll do it. And they treated me like I was free. They treated me that way. But the more money I charged people, the more money in addition to my pay they spent to make me comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when I charged thousands of dollars, they put me in better hotels than if I would have did it for free. They made sure I'd be on stage when I did it for free. I can't even get no bottled water. I can't get nobody's attention just to tell me who's going up next. I'm bugging them. But when I charge thousands of dollars, they literally they pay somebody to stand next to me and give me anything I want. When I charge thousands, they spend an extra $1,000 And maybe it's because I demonstrated or identified or projected or made clear my value. And I don't know if it was Saturday, Coach Dunbar, we talked about this, but people, and maybe even last week, people know, and this is in boundaries, people know how to treat you only by the way you show them how to treat you.
Correct.
I call it the diamond rule. You got the golden rule, treat people how you want to be treated. Platinum, treat people how they want to be treated. But the diamond is treat yourself the way you want others to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
Treat yourself that way. And I think that may be that piece. But then a person like me, how do I balance that and making the information available to the people that may not have those resources, but have them take it as seriously as though they had them resources, as though they spent 2,000. And that is the sweet spot I haven't figured out yet. So I'm gonna pay attention as we, continue to do these courses, and next year we'll be increasing, right? Thank you for the pilot courses, because we're learning a lot. But that's just, it just made me think about that as far as the self-awareness and the boundaries and the discipline and just all these different components are concerned. So with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Coach Dunbar and see if he had anything he wanted to add or ask or contribute or thoughts before we let you all go, and so you can enjoy your Valentine's Day evening.
I wanted to tie in these 2 pages. So if you haven't done the assignment, I would definitely say, please work on the assignment, because I mentioned this either Saturday or last Tuesday. I can't necessarily remember which day it was that I mentioned it, but I mentioned to everybody that the assignment, the exercises and the assignments that you do within these classes are where that's where the transition happens at, right? Because Coach Brent's talking to you, me talking to you, us engaging, people telling their story or a situation that's going on with them on this Zoom, it helps a little bit, but it doesn't help as much as you triggering something in yourself when you actively start to do something. Does that make sense, everybody?
Very much so.
Yeah, so that's going to be very important for everybody to understand. Is like those, just as important as being here for the hour is doing the homework assignment or the assignment, homework assignment, however we want to label it, doing it from week to week, because it's taking you through a process. So it's like you sit on a Zoom and then you go through a process. You sit on a Zoom and then you go through a process. So if any of you all been to college, and I haven't, I don't have a formal education. I have a lot of people around me who do, but I've never went to college or anything. So I haven't had that experience, but I understand the college experience because people around me have gone to college. The mother of my kids has 2 masters. My fiance is finishing up her doctorate. My business partner is finishing up his doctorate. Our sister that went to school. I mean, so I've just got a lot of, educators and things like that around me for different reasons. And the sessions with the mentors, the sessions, even when they were having online classes, that was never really the work. That was all instructional. Does that make sense? The work was always what they were doing between class and class. Does that make sense? That's where they got better, in between class and class. So I want you guys to keep that all in mind. Tying these key result areas, whether it be the life, the business, however you want to look at them, right? The sales, prospecting, building rapport and trust, all the way down to getting resales and referrals. Why is that important? Because we just learned about them for 2 weeks, all of these LRAs, right? And KRAs. And you're maybe thinking, okay, tell me what that has to do with Eat That Frog. Tell me what that has to do with procrastination. Tell me what that has to do with me getting better. Well, one, we're not finished because we still have to go through the step of performing these poorly causes procrastination. But before we even get there, look at these particular things. These are the things that help you move forward in success in those particular areas. So not just Coach Branch, not just me, not just Brian Tracy, not just some motivational speaker somewhere or a CEO of a company. Understand that if you are in sales, generally speaking, if you sell things for a living, if you do not prospect, if you do not build a rapport and trust, if you do not identify the needs of a prospect and a client, if you don't present persuasively, answer objectives patiently, close the sale and get resales and referrals, then you are not going to hit a certain success level in whatever business it is that you're running, that you're doing the sales in. Is that fair? The same thing on the management side. If you're managing a team, supervising a team, well, I don't care if you're working with your church or a nonprofit and you are a supervisor or manager over a group of people who have certain duties that need to be performed. Planning, organizing, staffing, delegating, supervising, measuring, reporting. If you're not doing these things, then you don't reach a level of success in that particular area. If you're doing them poorly, that prevents you from continuing to do them, which is what's causing the procrastination. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
Procrastination is happening because you're saying, every time I reach out to people, they tell me get lost. You're in another network marketing company. You're selling something else. You sold me something 2 years ago and I didn't use it or it didn't work, right? Whatever you're hearing when you're calling to make that sale, that's prospecting. If you do that poorly, or if you get turned down so much you don't want to do it, guess what happens? When somebody says, we're gonna make 20 calls tomorrow, what do? You procrastinate. Is this making sense? Right?
Absolutely.
If it's time to present, and again, this is psychological. You're not closing deals to open up a group presentation because you don't want to present. So your reluctance to present, you procrastinate so you won't present. Well, guess what happens so that you don't present? You don't close the deal. And we call that self-sabotage. And what you're not realizing is that psychologically, either you do something poor, you don't want to do it at all, so you procrastinate on getting it done, right? And I'm staying in this space so that it make right. I'm not hitting executive director because I don't think I can hold on to it. So I'm not going to hit it at all. I'm going to procrastinate. I'm going to not do a certain amount of sales. I'm going to hold myself back. African-American person, right? I have this conversation with my people all the time. You don't want to hit a certain success level because now you feel like you have to move out of this neighborhood, put yourself in a position where the people that when you go to church and you go to work, like, oh, you think you're better than us now. Even though you may not think that, but you hold yourself back for that reason. You procrastinate on things. You don't get promotions that you should get. You self-sabotage. All of these things are all connected mentally because we either do the thing poorly or we're afraid of the results, so we just don't do it at all, and it causes us to procrastinate. And I need everybody to understand that procrastination is not, for the most part, is not tied to being lazy. Catherine is not making phone calls because she's lazy. And I'm not saying she's not making phone calls, I'm just picking one. Right? She's not making phone calls because there's another reason why she's procrastinating, right? Scared to hear no. Have heard no so many times she don't want to hear it again in that manner, right? Her ego can't take it right now. Whatever the case may be. Same thing in the management position, right? I want to do it all myself. I don't trust people enough to delegate. I need it to be done the way I want to do it. That person is now procrastinating on delegating because they don't want to delegate in the first place because they want it to be done by them. All psychological, right? That connection moves right over into life, right? Relationships with others. You're procrastinating on talking to a grandchild because the communication is poor. They don't understand you and you don't understand them. So now you hesitate. So now you say, oh, we're about to go on a car ride to the grocery store. I'll talk to him or her then. And then they put their headphones on and you say, oh, they got the headphones on. I'm not gonna bother them right now. You procrastinate. You don't talk to them. You don't engage with them because you think they don't want to hear from you. You think you don't have anything that they want to hear, right? They're in a different generation, so you procrastinate. Procrastination is braided into all this information. This is why we have it here. Right? Self-awareness, empathy, consideration, authenticity, truth, all of these things, if you're doing them poorly, it will cause you to procrastinate and you won't do them, which means you do not evolve in that area in your life. That means your relationships with others take a hit because you're procrastinating on self-regulation. You're procrastinating on boundaries, right? Or you're doing them poorly, so you don't want to do them at all. You don't want to practice them anymore because you're doing them poorly. Relationships with self-awareness, right? Self-care. So many of us confidence levels are so low that instead of doing personal development, we just go do affirmations. And we talk to ourselves in the mirror, and then it becomes delusional. Because now I'm telling myself that something is true that's not true, and my brain is saying, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with her? Because I don't see this stuff going on, right? So now I can procrastinate on reading a book to get better. Why should I read a book to get better at something when I'm telling myself in the mirror every morning, I'm better at it anyway? I told myself I'm good at this, so I don't need to read the book. So the idea of picking up the book and reading 30 pages, reading 30 minutes a day, or doing that self-care, right? If I tell myself I'm beautiful, I'm handsome, I'm the best looking person in my family, or whatever affirmation I tell myself, then why do I need to do the self-care? Why do I need to go get my nails done and my hair done and do certain things that have to do with self? If I tell myself, if I feel like in my heart of hearts that I'm overweight, right? And that this is unhealthy. But I go in the mirror because I let these positive speakers say, big is beautiful. It's okay to be big. Right? This is who I am. No, you're unhealthy and you should do something about that. And if you tell yourself—
It's not about beauty. If I can, it's not about beauty. It's about health.
There you go.
It's about health. And true is true all the time, and sometimes the truth don't feel good. Just because it doesn't feel good don't mean it's bad.
Right.
Just because it doesn't feel good doesn't mean it's bad. And with that said, even if it ain't healthy, even though it's not healthy, nobody's challenges should be held over them and should be used as a blunt instrument by somebody else. But as far as self-talk, do it with empathy and honesty. I love who I am, but this is something I have to change.
Come on now.
That's all. I love me, and I understand why I got here. Can I share a quick anecdote?
Share,
I was working out.
Like share the screen?
No, just a story.
Oh, gotcha.
Working out, trying to work out. I had gained extra weight. My coach, I'm working out with my workout coach. He's on FaceTime and stuff. And I'm talking, oh man, I hate this. It's stupid. I can't get rid of this dumbness. He said, yo, quit talking about yourself like that. Like he snapped on me. He said, look, that extra weight around you, I know you. We've been friends. You went through some traumatic things in your 30s. You went through some real serious trauma. That was your body trying to cushion your organs. Your soft organs are here. Your body went into a protection mode. Don't be mad at your body for trying to protect you, even if you didn't like how it did it. So now we just got to communicate with your body. You don't need that protection no more. You're safe. You're okay. Blew my mind on how he saw that and how that new perspective on that body change. But once again, it's right in alignment with what Brother Dunbar was saying. Sorry for interrupting. Just that body positive. I just wanted to really touch in there and bring those that perspective, the clarity of
no, absolutely. No, absolutely. So the point in all of this, all of what we're saying is that these KRAs, these key result areas have already been researched and known that whatever area that they're in, relationships with others, relationships with self, sales, or management, you need to be doing all 7 of each, the big 7 in each of those categories if you're looking to have some kind of success in that. And nobody else determines what success is for you. But whatever success you're looking to have in that field, you have to be willing to do them. If you're not doing them, right? If you're procrastinating on them, you have to find out, is it because I've done them poorly in the past and I don't want to do them anymore? Or do I just not know how to do them? So next week, when we talk about, move further, we're going to talk about if you can't do them well and you don't want to spend the time sharpening that skill set, it's okay. There's another way to deal with that. You just delegate. And also keep in mind that the delegating of these 7, they can only be done in sales and management. They can't be done in life. You can't delegate empathy to somebody else. So when it comes to life, the life KRAs, those we're going to have to sharpen those skills, and that's what we do with books. That's what we do with trainings. That's what we do. What we're doing here in sales and management, right? Like business, right? We can delegate some things in business to somebody else and pay them to do it. I can't pay somebody to be empathetic to me. I can't pay somebody else to be truthful about myself. These are things that we're going to have to work on within ourselves so that we don't procrastinate on those things so that we move forward, because we all deal with those things. I have a 16-year-old son, and I have to deal with that all the time with him. The communication is real, and the conversations I have to have with him to start that conversation is gaming. That's his world. So if I want to talk to him in general, I have to start the conversation with gaming and then go where I want it to go, because he won't passionately talk to me. It's one-word answers instead I talk about games. I talk about games, then he talks. And then I can say, hey, did you talk to your mom today? You need to talk about that. And now he's having a full engaged conversation because he got hyped up on the gaming conversation. I had to learn to do that, because before I would go to talk to him and it would just be yes, no, I didn't, I did, tomorrow, yesterday, because they don't want to have a conversation unless it's something that they're passionate about. So that was something I had to learn how to communicate with others, me, my 16-year-old son, because I can't blame it on a generation, blame it on the gap, and then my son has communication with somebody that is closer to this age that tells him to do the wrong thing. Join the gang, hurt somebody, do this to women, right? Because he does it, because they have figured out how to communicate with him and I can't. Does that make sense? So I couldn't let nobody stand in that gap. So I had to pick up that skill set myself. I couldn't delegate it to anybody. The most delegation I could do was therapy. That was about the most delegation I could do in that scenario, if that makes sense. So again, guys, I wanted to just tie those things in, because sometimes we're going deep on things because all of this is psychological. But I don't want you all to walk away saying, this was big. But how does this tie into my procrastination? That's how. This is how it ties into procrastination, because the reason you're procrastinating is because you're not good at these particular things. Because you're not good at them. So let's get good at them. Let's work on those particular things so we can now say, oh no, I'm good at doing it. If you make good phone calls, you love making them. Right? You're excited about making phone calls tomorrow if you had a good day yesterday. So just think about that small example. If you got 20 no's yesterday, you're reluctant the next day to make phone calls. If you make 20 calls and got 2 yeses, you're like, I'm gonna see if I can do that again tomorrow. Your energy changes because you had a good day versus a bad day, but we can't let that control our energy when it goes to doing something that's gonna help us get to a success level. So that's pretty much, that's it on my side. I know it's 9:23, but I know we started, obviously way after because we waited for people to get on. So yeah, I know we took a hit tonight because of Valentine's Day, because throughout this whole thing, I've gotten about 4 text messages. Oh my God, I forgot it's Valentine's Day, but I know,
We'll see. Saturday will be a packed house. We all good. We had the 3 dynamos here. We had to try house, so we good. We good. We had the first string.
Let me ask a question. As you talk about Coach Branch, I heard you said something, but what you guys doing is not in vain. I'm learning a lot. And then you said, Mr. Dunbar, he will say, oh, you didn't do this, or you didn't do that. But when Mr. Dunbar will say, you didn't do your homework, or you didn't do this, really hurt, because it's like, I have to do it. You understand? I have to do it. because this is what he said, man, I gotta go back and do my homework because I didn't do it. So it made me feel really bad. Even though he brushed it off, I feel really bad because I know what I have to do the homework. So
let
Coach
me ask
Brad,
you a question, just for language. Did him identify, did he make you feel bad, or it being identified and you know what I mean? You felt bad because it hadn't gotten done.
Right. I felt bad because it wasn't done.
And I know that's not the goal. I know that wasn't his goal or mine to make anybody feel bad.
No, I know. I understand. No, I'm not downing you guys like that. You know, no, it's not the goal. Because like I always tell somebody, I said, one thing Mr. Dunbar said to me, and I will never forget that. If you're having a headache to get these things, it's best you quit. And I was like, what? And it changed my whole perspective. It changed my whole mindset. So I'm doing it better. And I'm handling situation better. You understand what I mean? Just because he told me that one word.
Well, good.
That one word he tell me. And I know it's time for me to go just now. But you guys, it is so much, all this is new to me. It's new to me, so I'm learning. And I'm really happy and proud of that, you know what I mean? But it's new to me. The KR, this and this is new to me, so I'm learning, you know? That's you say, not too late. It's not too late for you to learn. So when I learn, I pass it on to others. You know, I might tell them, they might say something, and I said, like, no, it's all about the mindset. It's all about doing this, and it's all about doing that, because I heard it from you guys. You know, that's another story. That's another
Thank you. No, thank you. And let me say, because I allowed myself to be authentic and just share truth in that moment, you just blessed me with a perspective. You really did. That even if a person didn't get to the homework or showed up late, you still may be getting what's full to you. You still may be getting filled, right? It may not take all of the extra stuff to fill you up. That'll probably push it too far. You're still doing all that your capacity could allow. I needed that perspective. Thank you. Thank you. I forget that. I forget that sometimes.
And I didn't even get it until you just said it. Like I didn't get it even when she said that. Like I just got it when you just said it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't.
This is all new. This is all. It's like, you know what? That's a good point. All of the content we bring, it may not take 100% to fill it up. They may fill up. Some may fill up at 50% or 75% of the information, or 25, depending on their experience. And that's something I got to remember as well. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Sister Arancia.
Yeah, just real quick. What I was going to say is that all the content is just exceptional. And I think, I don't know how old anybody is, but because we're all over 21.
That's fair.
Is that fair?
Times
so we're
2.
all over 21, but you kind of touched on it when you were talking about the review of the KRAs, but our experiences, our mindsets, the crushings that we've had, that we might be hungry for the information, but we got to shovel out some of that old manure that's been in there and piled up high. Piled up high where it's not soft, but it's hardened. Not to be gross or anything in terms of a descript, but it's been encapsulated.
Yeah, it's been for a while.
It's been for a while because you've gotten the beat down, and you've gotten the beat down from your friends, your relatives, your job, how come you don't do it like Coach Dunbar does it? How come you don't do it like Catherine does it? Well, because I'm not them, but tell me what to do and I can do it like you want it done. but it's going to get done like me because it's me. So I can't do it like you. I can't do it like Coach Dunbar, Coach Branch, Catherine, Stephanie. I can't do it like them. But you can give me the information to fill up my well so that I do it like me. And so I'm saying, with all that beat down and you're not this and you're never do this, that's ingrained in people. It's ingrained in people, and I don't think we pay enough attention to that, because we're just beginning to start to talk about self-care and mindset, and everything is mindset. You know, I know that I can't even say most, everything that Coach Dunbar talks about, it's prefaced with mindset. Okay. Everything. I don't care if it's eating, if it's sleeping, if it's working, everything is mindset. Okay. But that is not something that even I know for myself, and I'm an educator, and I've heard the way people teach and talk to the students.
Right.
You're not this, you'll never be that. How could you be a coach? What do you mean you didn't go to school? And so that's been like tacked down.
Yeah.
So you got to get something, you got to put something in there to get that out. And you're talking about the self-talk.
Yeah.
And it's yes, you have to talk to yourself in the mirror, but you got to do the action too. And so I don't think that Coach Dunbar is against the affirmations or the confessions.
Absolutely.
But I think he's saying talk to yourself in a positive manner, because we're quick to say what we can't do, what we're not. And so if you talk to yourself in the mirror, then I still got to do the work.
You still got to do the work,
because the information without the application, there's not going to be any transformation.
That is my hard set rule right there. I believe in affirmations 100%. I just tell my coaching clients, my coaching clients or my goal setting clients, when I say ask them what their affirmations are and they tell me, I say, while I'm working with you, you are not allowed to have an affirmation that you're not actively, tangibly working on as a goal. If you are not working on that as a goal, then you are not allowed to say it in the mirror. But this is important. If it's important, then let's set a goal for it. Let me help you make this important, because I believe it's important. But let's get a goal set, because if it's important, if you really feel that way, then you're not going to get there if you're not doing something tangible to get there. So I'm here to help you do that. And by you telling me that it's an affirmation, you have let me know that this is important to you. And now it's my job to say, how can we break this down into steps so that you can make this a reality, not just say it in the mirror and turn delusional. Because you're saying it because somebody said, say it in the mirror, and they just left that part out because you probably were just on the affirmation training. And that's all they talked about was affirmations. So if that's what you go to, that's all you're going to hear. And what I'm saying is, no, affirmations are good when they're tied. They work when they're tied to action, right? They work when they're tied to action. And that's what I believe on that. Yeah, absolutely.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. And that leaves us with, different capacities and different growth and different life experience. And we're finally starting to touch on these things. And we may be full, but one of the KRAs for self is discipline. The homework assignments and those things that we send home with you, those are important. Regardless if you feel full, regardless if you feel like I got as much, still do those. Still go through it, because how else can we expand your bandwidth?
Correct.
How can we expand your container if we only operate with the size that the container is now?
Correct.
One. Number two, the actions have to follow. And in this situation, being the instructors, i.e. the experts and the coaches, our job is to introduce challenge to you, to make you uncomfortable, and that discomfort grows your comfort zone. So those assignments are also so that throughout, you're not only addressing this one day a week. So now on another day a week, it splits the week up and it hits with a reminder. And that causes it to seep into to your long-term memory, have a better chance there, have a better chance of transitioning to your subconscious and unconscious as well. So it's all strategy to it. Just because something is uncomfortable don't mean it ain't working, right? So I'm very proud of you all. I appreciate you all. We have had a full lesson today, a very full lesson, and a great discussion. And I'm grateful for what I had an opportunity to learn from you all today. And I hope you all feel the same way.
I do. I thank you. Yes, I thank you.
Can I borrow 30 seconds? I promise you this is gonna take 30 seconds. 30
Look,
seconds.
I'm muting. I'm done. You close us out too.
I want you guys to look at a personal training situation. Why do a lot of personal trainers have certification to be a nutritionist? Because they send you home with a meal plan. If all you did was meet your personal trainer at the gym, but when you got home, you didn't do assignments, which is eat properly, go to sleep at a certain time, guess what would happen? The personal training in the gym wouldn't help. So sometimes the assignments that you're taking home make what you're doing in the gym work. What happens in this classroom is only going to be effective if you do what we send you home with, even if it burns you out. I'm not burns you out, but you feel like, man, I'm kind of overloaded. Right? You can break things down like Jim Rohn said a long time ago, right? When he came home from work with a suitcase, mom said, "Hey, dad's got to go in his office and do some work." Daughter said, "Why don't they put him in a slower class?" Right? So maybe he's in a class that's moving too fast for him. I get that, but understand that personal trainer can only do so much for you in the gym. If when you go home, you undo it all by eating the wrong things, staying up in the middle of the night, drinking alcohol. So they have to give you a plan to go home with. And what we're doing here is saying, what we talked about here, if you do this assignment in between, when we come back here and talk, you can be like, uh-oh, I'm really getting this because I did what they sent me home with. That's why this is so important, because I learned so many lessons in my own personal life because I took a class and then I took the stuff and I worked on it when I wasn't in that class. And the next time that class came around 2 years later, I realized how much better I got because I did everything they told me to do when the class was over with. So and we know that this is important. And Coach Branch knows this because he's in formal education in that world where he's closing out his doctorate. He's being told to do assignments. And this is what's getting him to where he's at. And it hurts. We talk. It hurts my fiance. We talk. But at the end of that game, nobody will be able to snatch from them the life change, that doctorate, that PhD, that level of achievement is worth that sometimes that burnout, that, man, I don't have the energy to do this, but I have to get it done because of what you want to achieve there. And I know that was longer than 30 seconds. I'm sorry. So guys, we have been on for 1 hour and 37 minutes. I really hope that this was beneficial. Good thing is it's recorded, so people will get, they'll get the information who weren't here Valentine's Day. But hopefully you guys know where our hearts are at on all this and feel like this is really going to take you to the next level. So with that being said, guys, please get in the community, communicate there, do the feedback for us so that we'll be able to work on the things that we need to work on as a coaching team here to make this better for not only you all in the next book, but for the next set of people that come along as well. We want to make it as best as we can. So that's how we giving y'all assignment. Y'all gonna give us an assignment when y'all do the feedback, because that's gonna give us something to work on.
Miss Johnson.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. But I heard it, and this is the third time I'm hearing it today, that every day we need to ask ourselves the question, are we coachable? Because we think all right, that's good. We think we're coachable and we're really not. Because if we're coachable, then I can't speak for anybody else, but I need to do what you're telling me to do. If you tell me to fill out the forms, I fill them out as best I can. If I come back, like when I said to you, I don't have weekly piggly that you have, but this is what I have. And you were like, well, that's a start, because it's starting to think, and maybe if I couple my music with it, then that means that this works for me. What we got? How about?
You already over.
I'm done.
But that was good stuff right there.
I dropped the mic.
Boom, mic drop. On that note, you're absolutely correct. I appreciate you for saying it. Ladies, you're awesome. You're phenomenal. I cannot wait to see you next Tuesday. I cannot wait. Every one of you, I want to put it back out here. Talk to someone that you have violated these rules with, the KRAs of relationships with others. Think about a time you violated that and you wish you didn't, and go have the conversation. Have the conversation.
Mhm.
That is a tough one. That's probably
Yes.
why nobody on this
That's what.
call tonight.
Yeah.
It might be that,
They like Valentine's Day. They like, no, I ain't talking to nobody.
oh, Dunbar, they ain't in love. They not in love. I'm in love. They not in love. Everybody ain't in love. They avoiding this homework conversation. And they can't get away from it. I'm gonna get them. So make sure y'all have the conversation with someone. This is the tough work. It's the tough work that help us deal with the tough world and turn us into the people we need to be, the non-procrastinators and everything else we need to be, so that we go get everything we got from the vision that we have and the hope that drives us and the discipline that's going to make it happen. I appreciate you all. On behalf of myself, Coach Dunbar, Life and Business GPS, and the Deep Dive Book Club.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, coaches.
Yeah.
Take
Peace.
care.
See you guys all later.
Later.
Holla.